Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your friend Beth. My name is Jared. There's my boy Carl, and there's my new cat Alfred. I have two cats now, and Carl. Father of three over here. So this is Nightwing on with the show. This is the new DC All-In initiative, the new ongoing series, or I guess it's the same ongoing series, but the new creative team with Dan Waters and Dexter Soy and Veronica Gandini on colors. And this is a so I have been reading, I jumped back into floppy issues of Nightwing at was it 130? 131? 130. Yeah, jumped back in at 130 because I really like the cover. Got 131. And I kind of said it was a Nightwing is like kind of going back to a passable book. But I was wrong because I just kind of didn't know what I was talking about based on not having read the issues that came before it. And so this covers 119 to 124. And I just, I knew of Dexter Soy, and he did that like Batman and the Outsiders back in like, what was that, like 2019? And I remember a lot of people liked it, and it was based on like the art. And what's going on, Alfred? And I didn't read that book because I didn't want to read another Batman book at the time. I was already reading a handful of Batman books and I didn't need another one. But man, Dexter Soy rules. He's a really good artist. I really dig him, and he's the right guy to be on Nightwing. And so is Dan Waters. Dan Waters, I don't really know him as a writer, or I think I've read a few things by him, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And the only person I've ever heard talk bad about him is Thinking Critical, which I don't credit him as a good critic, because everything that's ever been bad in his eyes have all been good for me. And so that you could take that how you want. And I really enjoyed this new setup. I'm really fascinated with this new character, Zanny. And I think it's really interesting and cool for Nightwing to have a new villain that's going to maybe stick around for a while and maybe be his almost Joker in a way, right? Because he's like a circus clown, but he comes from like a dark circus from like the Victorian age, and he seems to have some kind of mystical powers where he can bend reality, like as he's bending the curtain back, and and so our story gets set up with Zanny explaining who Nightwing is the circus boy that he's been following. And these are our gang leaders. You got Mama Bear from the Teddies, Boss Bolgan from the Clean Cut Killers, the Clean Cut Crew, Professor I forget how you say this. Processus? I don't know. I can't read. I read at a stupid level. And then you have a hipster who became a fitness guru, as you could see, as our new gang leaders that are left over from the Tom Taylor run. And I really do love when what's up, buddy? Look at little Kiki. I really do love. Sorry, it's very distracting having a new kitten. What I love when writers come on and just continue. They tell their own story, but they leave all the lore intact. And it really, as a longtime reader of Nightwing, I've been reading Nightwing since the 90s, and so it really feels good when a writer comes on and just keeps it going. you know, and like puts his own spin on the character, adds some stuff to the lore, uses the lore before him, and it feels like an ongoing series. Now, yeah, we have a new creative team, but you know, like having you know having Melinda being a prominent character in this run is important, and it matters to me because I loved the Tom Taylor run. I think it's arguably the second best Nightwing run of all time, next to Chuck Dixon's run. And so it matters to me when like a new creative team comes on and is like going to continue writing instead of flipping everything and changing everything and destroying everything that came past, just moving forward. As this book is called, the show, on with the show, right? You know, the show must go on. So it's like it just keeps going, and I really dug that. And yeah, Dexter Soy's art is very dynamic and very action paced, and I really do enjoy it. This isn't quite resolved yet because so we have this new villain, and she's like a tech bro who makes machines, and it looks like she's using animals for her machines that are like robots, and so they use the animals as the, I don't know, it reminds me of Sonic. You know, that's my, you know. And so Nightwing gets a rabbit now, and his dog Haley isn't too happy about him having a rabbit. And my cat wants my attention. Alfred, here. Go over here, buddy. Thank you. Or not. And so this new villain, she creates this like this, you know, what are they called? Like, you know, Alpha Corps. You know, they're basically police with flying rockets. It's a little joke at Ripaverse. And so they're here to stop the gangs that Nightwing seems to not being to stop, and you know, allegedly maybe working with. And by working with them is that he's trying to stop the gang war. And so he's trying to make a truce between them all by putting himself in the middle of it all. And it's just a fantastic story. I really recommend this book. Like, if you didn't like the Tom Taylor run, that's understandable. I know some people just weren't into it. And if you didn't like it, I think this might be your jam. This kind of goes back to Nightwing being a very like fast-paced action story, but it also leaves the things that Tom Taylor put into motion, like Barbara and Dick actually finally being a real couple. They have a dog, and you know, Melinda, his sister, is in here. The Blüdhaven lore that's all been put in, and what I actually was really mattered to me a lot, gave me a big smirk, is they recognize something that I felt was retconned a long time ago, but they mention when Blüdhaven was attacked by Chemo, and I was like, oh crap, they're mentioning Chemo, like the destruction of the Chuck Dixon era of Nightwing is gone back in like 2009. You really need to use the box right now? Okay. My reviews are always and so Dan Waters, it seems as if Dan Waters is somewhat like me, who's been reading Nightwing for a very long time and really loves this character and really has a lot of appreciation for his history and his lore. And it really shows, and it comes through in his writing. And same with Dexter Soy. He just really kills it on the art team. And I just like all the monsters and the gangs having all like identifiable looks. And it was just a whole lot of fun. I'm glad, like, I love the Tom Taylor run, but there was also I don't know how to say this properly, but like there's like a softness to it, like a gentleness to it that I think that like that that edge that Nightwing has been missing. And it's like, I'm glad that it's back. And but Tom Taylor's run is like, to me, the second best Nightwing run of all time. So, but it definitely brings some hard hitting edge back to the Nightwing book. And so it's a nice it's just a solid like return to form, like we had the few years of the Tom Taylor run, and really added and really like I would say, lifted up Nightwing to the status that it needed to be. But then this On With the Show brings his book back to the way it kind of used to be, but with the status that he now has. And I really appreciate that. So, yeah, solid book. I would definitely go out and buy it if you can, or just read it, if you can. If you could read it online, that'd be cool. But yeah, definitely go out and buy this book. It's really good. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.